You son of a...
No, we don't want to swear. We don't want to have profanity. I can't imagine the anger and the anxiety and the feeling of wanting retribution. And if you need to say something to help you, I'm more than willing to let you say something. But in a courtroom, we don't use profanity.
A flashback to Randall Margraves, a distraught father who stared down Larry Nassar in a Michigan courtroom.
I would ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon.
I have
Would
a
you
feel-
do that?
that is not how
Yes or
our...
no?
No, sir, I can't
Would you
do
give me
that.
1 minute?
You know that I can't do that. That's not how our legal system...
Well, I'm going to have to stop.
It was authentic and raw, a father feeling powerless, but demanding he take it back in the form of revenge.
What's best here is that we take this horrible tragedy and we learn to educate people. And I don't disagree that as a parent and the victims that you want people held accountable. I don't disagree with that. Use the legal system to do it. Use the system of justice that's here, and there will be the proper punishment. But as for the direct contempt of court, there is no way that this court is going to issue any type of punishment given the circumstances of this case. And my heart does go out to you and your family because of what you've gone through.
The judge would not punish him, but mandate he give his word to not do anything of the like ever again. The reason he lunged at Larry Nassar?
An anguished father heard for the first time exactly how Larry Nassar sexually assaulted his daughters when they were teenagers.
And you put your ungloved hands all over my rear and slipped your thumb into the most private area of my body.
And it was just too much to bear.
He learned of what exactly happened in grave detail from his 3 daughters' own testimony that day. CBS Evening News got a wider angle of what went down in that courtroom. He would then speak with the outlet.
I am no hero. My daughters are the heroes, and all the other victims.
Later, Margraves told us what he wanted to do alone in a room with Nassar.
I did not think about wanting to kill him, but I did want to inflict some pain.
You were trying to help your daughters by sending them to this doctor. Is there a feeling of remorse or even guilt?
Yes, there is a lot of it.
And afterwards, meet the press.
I fell for the Michigan State hype. I was blinded to the fancy degrees hanging on an office wall. And I delivered, unintentionally, my 3 daughters to a demon who had his own twisted and sick agenda for his own demented desires. Now I have to live with the fact that I failed to protect my daughters. I believe in God Almighty. I believe in heaven and hell. And I can only hope when the day comes that Larry Nassar has ended his days on this earth, that he will be escorted to one of the deepest, darkest, hottest pits in hell there is for him and people like him. I hope there's a lot of pain attached to it, because he's certainly left a lot of pain here on this earth.
In the wake of what happened, Margraves would turn down GoFundMe donations via ESPN. In total, Nassar was accused of sexual abuse by more than 330 women and girls at USA Gymnastics and Michigan State University. One thing that I heard from the judge here at that time was, I understand, quickly catching herself and saying, I will never understand. I hope I will never understand. That is something that I think every parent would feel. The rage, the anger, the furiousness. I do not believe in capital punishment, but I understand where he is coming from. And when he says, I wanted to be alone in a room with him. I don't think about killing him. I wanted to hurt him. That is something that any father would feel. Any. I've seen the news of Larry Nassar. I highly recommend watching the Netflix documentary and listening to the testimony of these girls, of Simone Biles, of Michaela Maroney, and many more. Because what happened was with Larry Nassar, but it was also with the enablement of USA Gymnastics. People who let this go. Many figures who were involved that knew this was a problem and never did anything. When we talk about exposing corruption in sports, that same energy needs to be met no matter what the team, no matter the country, no matter the affiliation with oneself. It needs to be called out at all times across the board. What USA Gymnastics to these girls and allowed to happen is unforgivable. And anyone who had knowledge should never, ever be in sports or a leadership role again. I share Mr. Margraves' frustration. Truly have no idea what I would do if I were in that man's position. What would you do? Tell me in the comments.